Hello, students. Once again, good morning to one and all. Now, today, the chapter what we are going to start that is the Rat Trap by Salma Lagerhoff. First of all, if we talk about the author, so Salma Lagerhoff was a Swedish writer whose stories have been translated into many languages. A universal theme runs through all of them, a belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. Means the theme exactly what is the main in all her stories is that एक व्यक्ति को अच्छाई और प्यार से जगाया जा सकता है, उसको सुधारा जा सकता है. This story is set amidst the mines, Sweden, rich in iron ore, which figure large in history and legends of that country. Legends means stories. The story is told somewhat in the manner of a fairy tale. Means this is a story exactly specially designed in the form of fairy tale. Means in starting something bad happens and then at last it's a happy ending. Now, if we talk about the theme of the story upholds the belief that the essential goodness of a human being can be awakened through love and understanding, as we discussed earlier. It brings into focus the idea that the world is a rat trap. Riches, joys, shelter, and food are all lucrative baits to trap mankind. Means ये पूरा संसार एक रैट ट्रैप की तरह है और जितने भी यहाँ पर ये जॉयज़ हैं, शेल्टर हैं, फूड है, ये सारे के सारे अपनी ओर अट्रैक्ट करने वाले मैनकाइंड को वो बेट्स हैं, वो लालच है, टेम्पटेशन है. नाउ इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द कैरेक्टर्स, अ पेडलर विद रेड ट्रैप्स, we can say he's the protagonist of this story, and Olmend, a crofter, Master Smith in the Ramjas iron mill, helpers, iron mill owner, and Adela Wilmanson, the daughter of iron mill owner. They are the main characters in this story. If we talk about the main points of this story, the Rat Trap is a story that underlies a belief that essential goodness in human being can be aroused through sympathy, understanding, and love. It means that if there is a bad man, if a person is having some bad qualities in him, so that can be exactly changed into good qualities by sympathy, understanding, and love. Once a man went around selling small rat traps, but he took to begging and thrive to keep his body and soul together. Thrivery means the word came exactly from thieves, stealing, and begging. Means just to sell out the rat traps was not sufficient. Rather, what he used to do sometimes to fill his tummy, he used to beg also. वो भीख भी मांगता था और चोरी भी करता था. One day he was struck with the idea the whole world is a big rat trap and it offers riches as bait. And one day when he was selling out his rat traps, so this idea came into his mind that ये पूरा संसार ही एक तरह से rat trap है. The people let themselves be tempted to touch the bait, then it closes in on them bringing an end to everything. और जैसे ही लोग उसमें फंसते हैं, then this rat trap gets closed on them. वो rat trap उनमें बंद हो जाता है, and then they get stuck in that. One dark evening, the rat trap peddler sought shelter in an old crofter's roadside cottage. Means when he was just selling out his rat trap, then he went to a old crofter's cottage. The old man gave him food, tobacco. They enjoyed the card game too. It means that peddler was welcomed in the cottage properly. Next morning, the peddler stole away his 30 coroners. But the peddler exactly stole 30 coroners from his home. The rat trap peddler escaped into a big confusing forest and got lost. So being afraid of this thing that he should not be caught, वो पकड़ा ना जाए, उसने जंगल का रास्ता लिया. While resting on the ground, he recollected his idea that the world is a rat trap and thought his end was near. And when he could not come out of that forest, he thought कि ये वही बेट है जिसमें वो फंस गया है और अब उसका अंत नज़दीक है. Hearing a thumping sound, he reached Ramjas Iron Works for a night shelter. But then what happens? He just listens. The thumping sound means hammer sound, and then he reaches to that iron factory. The owner came on his nightly rounds and noticed that a ragged wretch near the furnace. But जैसे ही सिंपल वो जो ऑनर है, he comes to that place. He took him as an old acquaintance, Nils Olof. Then that owner of that factory, he thinks that he is his old acquaintance. Acquaintance means jankar. He invited him to stay with him for Christmas. But the stranger declined the offer. The male owner, he offered that he should come, वो उनके साथ आज क्रिसमस मनाए, but he refused. His daughter, Adela Wilmanson, persuaded to go home with her. But Adela, she went and she tried to persuade him. उसने उसको मनाने की कोशिश की. She requested him to stay for Christmas Eve only. On his way to a manor house, the peddler thought that he had thrown himself into the lion's den. The next day, in broad daylight, the Iron Man realized the stranger was not captain and threatened to call the sheriff. But when in the morning, Iron Man ने उसको पहचाना that he is not my that old acquaintance. ये मेरा old acquaintance नहीं है. Then he said, you should go away, otherwise I will call police. Adela pleaded for him and asked him to stay back. But his daughter, she says, nahi, let him celebrate Christmas with us. The Christmas Eve at Ramjas was as usual, and the stranger slept and slept. She made him understand that if he wanted rest and peace, he would be welcome next Christmas also. This had a miraculous effect on him. और जैसे ही लड़की ने कहा कि आप अगर शांति से सोना चाहते हैं, रेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, तो आप अगले क्रिसमस पर भी आ सकते हैं. बस इसी सेंटेंस ने उसके ऊपर एक जादुई इफेक्ट. Next morning they went for early church service, leaving behind the guest who was asleep. They learned at church that a rat trap peddler had robbed an old crofter. और चर्च में उनको पता चलता है कि रैट ट्रैप पैडलर ने उस क्रॉफ्टर को लूट लिया है. एडला बिकम्स वेरी अपसेट. दे रीच होम इमीडिएटली एंड लर्न दैट अ पैडलर हैड ऑलरेडी लेफ्ट बट हैड नॉट टेकन एनीथिंग. हालांकि जब वो घर पहुंचे तो वो देखते हैं कि पैडलर तो चला गया, बट वो कुछ लेकर के नहीं गया. इंस्टेड ही हैड लेफ्ट अ स्मॉल पैकेट फॉर दैट यंग गर्ल एज अ क्रिसमस प्रेजेंट. बल्कि वो क्रिसमस प्रेजेंट के रूप में लड़की के लिए कुछ छोड़ के और जाता है. शी ओपन्स द पैकेट एंड फाइंड्स अ रैट ट्रैप, और उसमें उसके लिए रैट ट्रैप है. 3 wrinkled tan coroner knots and also a letter with a request to return the coroner to the crofter. और वो उस लड़की की अच्छाई की वजह से चेंज हो गया. एंड देन ही लेफ्ट दैट कॉर्नर्स एंड गिफ्टेड अ रेड ट्रैप ऑल्सो टू द गर्ल. So this chapter, the same message gives that evils can be won by good deeds. So now just go through the chapter, students. You will better understand this. Thank you. Have a nice day.